What's up, guys? It's John again here at Geek Virtue. Just checking in with you, saying hi, letting you know that, you probably already heard this. Microsoft just bought Bethesda. Does it matter? Okay, so they purchased the parent company of Bethesda, Zenimax Media, for what? It says here, $7.5 billion. $7.5 billion. This is hot on the, I would say on the heels of Sony dropping a bomb on them with last week's showcase. One thing that I know, I personally have never owned a Microsoft console except for my PC. I would say that's a console because I could play every game you could pretty much play on the Xbox with it. But I've always been more of I like to pick two consoles per generation, usually a Nintendo one, and then my go-to, my Sony PlayStations. I've owned every PlayStation since they started doing this. So I've been a Sony guy for most of my life. When the Xbox came along, I was like, okay, whatever. They didn't really appeal to me. There was nothing on there that I immediately was like, oh, okay, I need to own this system. Nintendo has that. You got Zelda, you got any Mario, any first-party Nintendo game makes me want to buy a Nintendo system. So that's why I've owned all those two except for this N64. I've had the GameCube, the Wii U, Switch. I will always keep that as my secondary system. But Sony's always been my thing. Now that I have a PC, because I didn't have one growing up and for most of my life. Now I'm able to play those Microsoft games, but even with that, seeing them and playing some of the exclusives, Gears and Halos and whatnot, because I got Game Pass, which is a great deal. Don't get me wrong, but it's not anything that I'm like, okay, I need this system. So I've never bought into Microsoft or Xbox or anything like that. I did buy an Xbox for my nephew, but that's because he wanted it, so whatever. But this is interesting because let's get into this a little bit. It says here they purchased it for $7.5 billion dollars. They purchased Zenimax Media, the parent company of Bethesda. I think there's also a number of others that fall into that category. I know id Software and Arcane. id, you have to know from Doom and Quake and the like, Wolfenstein and whatnot. Great games. Then also Arcane, who Dishonored and this Deathloop that's coming out, and a number of other studios. I don't have the listing on me, but they purchased a large group of studios, which puts them at they're the lead in terms of studios by a publisher, I would say, and console maker. So they own, I knew that before this they owned like 15 studios directly, and I know last year they bought up a few others, but nothing really, I would say, came out of it. Think about it. Everyone says it. What exclusives does Xbox have that makes you want to buy their system? There's no console selling titles on the Xbox right now. I would not shell out $500 to play Halo. That's just not happening. I wouldn't shell out $500 to play any of the Sony exclusives singular. As a group, as a whole, yeah, I would rather go with Sony just because they have more of the types of games I like. You got your Spider-Mans, you got your God of War, you got your Horizons, all these things that you can only really get on a Sony console, plus all the multi-platform games that we love. Okay, so which include Bethesda games. You got your Fallouts, you got your Elder Scrolls, which I'm gonna get heat for this. I've never been a huge fan of Elder Scrolls. Skyrim is not my jam. It's just not for me. Fallout is iffy depending on which one it is. I liked Fallout 3. Fallout 4 I could not get into. I still have it and I never finished it. What intrigues me about this is they did it after Sony announced that their pricing scheme is fairly affordable and dropped another exclusive with the new God of War last week. And I couldn't care less about this acquisition. I just don't know. It just doesn't matter to me. One, I see this, and correct me if I'm wrong. Microsoft doesn't need money generally. They make money off of a lot of other things that actually bring in more money than their gaming division, I would say. I can imagine that the $7.5 billion they spent on this is like their pocket money. It's petty cash that they just was like, oh, you know what? Let's buy all this stuff. Because they don't need it. They have so much more that they're making money off. They, with Game Pass, have proven to me that they are set up to be the next, a great streaming platform, maybe one of the next best developers / publishers in the business, going the route of, this is not a good example, going the Sega route where they get out of the console game and just focus on development for other platforms, PC included. I think that might be better for them, but who knows? But this, I don't see this as their end goal to sell consoles based on this acquisition. I see it as they are going to use this to go more multi-platform themselves internally. I'm probably wrong, but I don't know. They have some of these studios that they purchased had exclusivity deals with Sony. I know Arcane had one for Deathloop. It's supposed to be on PS5. I'm not sure if it's a timed exclusive or not, but that it just shows that, and they're going to honor those deals. They're honoring the deals because they know that it's lucrative for them, I would say. I mean, let's look into this real quick. The games that are being published by Zenimax right now, or that will be. Okay, right there you see it says that Sony shares have slid because of this news. I don't see why. I mean, I know that the PS5 is probably going to sell better than the Xbox out the gate. There's nothing really on the Xbox that's going to sell systems right now. That could change once they announce some better exclusives, but right now it's not something that this isn't going to make you want to get their system. All right, there's even news about how it's bad for exclusives, good for Game Pass, which is great. I mean, if you want to sell Game Pass, this makes me want to upgrade my plan of Game Pass, because I have Game Pass now, and it's a great deal. You're getting a lot of games for a very small price and some very top quality games. Adding Elder Scrolls is not going to make my mind up for this. Period. It's not. And then Sony could come back. Sony got money too. They could come back and be like, we're officially buying Insomniac. Or, we're buying, they would never buy Rockstar. Rockstar's too deep into it. Who knows? Maybe EA wants to sell off finally. They'll never do that. But there's so many things that you could do. Look, there's even an article here. 10 studios that Remedy, that would be great. Get a sequel to Control exclusive on PlayStation. Kojima, they're already working very tightly with them, so they should be able to. I thought Quantic was already, but who knows? But there's so many different ones, so they can come back. Sony could come back at them and just blow them out of the water even more. Plus, on the top of that, they have the exclusives. Sony has the exclusives. You got games that for years we've been playing on Sony consoles because that's the only place you can get them. So to me, this is no big deal unless they come up with some killer app that I need to have, I need to own, and I don't see that happening. Elder Scrolls is not gonna make me jump on it. Doom, I can't see them releasing Doom as an exclusive. Any sequel to Eternal, they were great, fast-paced, frenetic, awesome games. Those are games that you want to play. I would pick that over an Elder Scrolls game, but I'm also crazy and right now signing my death warrant by saying that to you guys. But I would rather that. But I don't see Microsoft ever going that route of being like, you know what, these games are only on Xbox. Because I feel like they have that vibe where they're more about the software than about the hardware. They're putting out a platform to compete with Steam and with Epic Games service. They could just destroy. They could be focusing on that more, and that's what I feel like is going to happen here. What's going to be the result of this acquisition? Not so much a competition with Sony, but maybe more with Valve and with Epic, just to get that part of the market. Because right now Sony's plan and their install base on the PS4 was enough to really give good faith for the PS5. We've seen what they did with the PS4, which was a significant improvement over the PS3. So the PS5 is, we're going on good faith that the PS5 is going to be as user-friendly, have the games that we want to play. Right now, my issue with this acquisition is none of these games are the ones that I really want to play. And I don't know, that's probably an unpopular opinion, but it's an opinion. Let me know what you think. Hit me up in the comments. Let me know if it's if you agree, if you don't agree. To each his own. I know I'm friends. I would play Xbox if they had. Well, that's kind of why I have a PC. I can play those games on a PC. Why not? I don't need to buy an Xbox. But the Sony games are not coming out on PC, and they never will. That's one thing I can say. I will give it up. Sony's a little greedy when it comes to that. Exclusives in mine. I don't want anybody who doesn't own my system to play it. So, they want you to buy their system. They're more of a hardware company. Sony sells commercial products. Microsoft doesn't need to. They sell them as well, but they also sell PCs that go $800 to $1,000 a piece, or laptops and stuff like that. Like that, they make their money off of that and software and cloud storage and all that stuff, like Amazon does and all those other companies. They don't make it off the products they sell. They make it off of other things that we don't know about. So I'm not worried about this as a Sony guy. I'm not even worried about this as a gamer. I feel like this is a good move on their part to broaden their reach, maybe make some moves that will help them out. Competition always breeds the best products. So I wouldn't want Sony to be the only one in the market, especially Nintendo is never going away, because they have a market that no one else can really break into. But Microsoft needs to step up and push up so that Sony can continue with the increases in their products and making better games, and that will in turn make Microsoft make better games. Fine with that. So this is not a big deal. Everyone's like, oh my god, this is going to kill Sony. It's not going to kill Sony at all. The PS5 is here to stay, unless there's a surge of insanity that just makes this a complete failure. The PS5, I mean, and I don't see that happening at all. It's not happening. So don't feel bad if you're a Sony fan. Relax. I feel like this is going to be just good for the industry in general. This happening is going to be good for the gaming industry. So that's that. All right, let me know what you think. Hit me up in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. Join my conversations on Twitter, on Instagram. I'll try and leave links. I'm learning. This editing stuff is a multi-layered beast. I'm learning to do all these things. So feel free to join me in the conversation. Thanks for everything. I appreciate it when you're with me, taking time to watch with me. I'm humbled every time. Remember that geek is a virtue. Keep loving what you love. Thanks. Peace.